It may have been Valentine's Day, but that doesn't mean the men and women of WWE weren't beating each other up like it was any other day. Brock Lesnar and Lita both returned to Raw to discuss their upcoming matches at the Elimination Chamber event that takes place on Saturday. Riddle threw himself and Randy Orton in a toga party to celebrate winning last week's Quiz Bowl, and AJ Styles to challenge Damien Priest for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Let's take a look at everything that happened on tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Today, I am your host, Anthony Florio, and I am joined, as always, by good old MF Michael Fletcher. I don't think we're going to have the Phenom Michael Bowler joining us this evening. Valentine's Day plans on his end, and I'm almost certain we're not going to have the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson, on top of that. So, go home edition of Monday Night Raw for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that takes place at a special start time of high noon this Saturday afternoon from the Jeddah Superdome in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, streaming exclusively on Peacock here in the United States and the WWE Network outside of it. And we got a lot of great stuff that we do need to address here tonight. Definitely some newsworthy moments, to say the very least. And we started it off with an in-ring segment, and it was Bobby Lashley, the WWE champion, alongside MVP, interrupted by all of his Elimination Chamber match opponents. The only one who didn't really say anything was Brock Lesnar. He let his actions speak louder than words, obviously. So, whenever WWE has a big match with multiple participants at a pay-per-view, we always get at least one segment with all of the superstars talking in the ring. And it usually happens during the go-home show before the event. They trot people out at regular intervals to speak a few sentences. It's supposed to hype up the crowd for the upcoming match, and sometimes it works. But this segment was as bland as it gets. Nothing that happened here was terrible. It just didn't do anything to make the match more interesting. Brock Lesnar taking out Austin Theory was fun, but that was about it. So we started it off. So we're not going to really, dive too much into that. So just excuse me for one moment. And, all right. All right. And now we're going to start the in-ring action of this show tonight. We started it off with a match that we saw many times over on Friday Night SmackDown, as it was the Street Profits taking on the Dirty Dogs, and the winners of the match, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. It was the Street Profits, and this was a short match that seemed designed to push Dolph Ziggler's feud with Tommaso Ciampa more than anything else. Thankfully, the few minutes of action we got had some fun moments. The Profits winning while Robert Roode took the loss for his team all made sense, especially if WWE wants Ford and Dawkins to be in the tag title scene after RK Bro and Alpha Academy finished their feud. So I probably would give this about a 1.5 to 2 for the effort. So then we had the United States Heavyweight Championship matchup, as it was Damien Priest defending the title against the phenomenal AJ Styles. Winner of the match, 4.5 minutes. And still the United States Heavyweight Champion, it was Damien Priest. Everything we saw in this match looked good. There just wasn't enough of it. These two proved they had great chemistry last week, so a lot of people were expecting something a little more competitive this week. Styles shaking Priest's hand after it was over was a nice touch, but having Styles lose this quickly just days before he steps inside the Elimination Chamber seemed like a weird call. if Priest had won a long, grueling match, it would have given Styles an excuse for why he would be off his game in the chamber. Instead, Styles will likely lose that match, even though he will be relatively fresh when it happens. So we're gonna really bypass that. Omos in a 2-on-1 handicap match against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Omos in 1 minute and 25 seconds. It is never going to be fun to see two talented guys like Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin getting jobbed out like this, but you have to admit that this worked to make Omos look like a monster. WWE management clearly sees something in Omos, so we can expect to see him steamroll over more competitors before, I believe, he likely wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 38. So that's my thought on that. Okay. Now we're going to start to get into some relevant stuff here. We had WWE official Adam Pearce on hand to preside over the contract signing for the Raw Women's Championship matchup. We had Becky Lynch, we had Lita, and well, it was an unexpected development for Becky Lynch, and I love that she was taking some chances and healing on the fans, and came out a little raggedy, but yeah, I mean, I definitely thought this ended up being one of the better contract signings we've had in a while. I mean, we didn't really get any. Well, Becky did throw the contract at Lita, but that was really all there was to say on that. So you could definitely make an argument for one of the segments of the night, if not the segment. So, MF, a quick thought from you as far as this contract signing was concerned. I mean, usually when they get these kind of things, they don't end well, but this one, actually did end all right.
Yeah, I think the majority of it is that they had to respect the fact that this was going to be an interesting development. I kind of feel like they kind of did what they needed it to do. I don't think it needed to go any more further than what it had to be. I think they held it in check for the most part, and I think they did a good job with it. As far as the storyline goes, I think it served its purpose. The purpose was that they wanted Becky to look really strong, look really good heading into the. I think they both looked really good coming out of this. So I mean, I don't think it was anything that would have uh, drove us absolutely crazy or say wow or anything like that. But I liked it. I thought they did. I think they handled it really well. So I really got nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, now we're gonna get into something very fun here. The with the exception of the mystery participant, and we're actually going to address that in just a moment because it's no longer a mystery as to who the final woman will be in that chamber match. But the other 5 women, Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Doudrop, battled in a gauntlet match, and the winner would earn the right to enter the Elimination Chamber last. It started with Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH. Rhea Ripley won that in 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Then it was Rhea Ripley against Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley wins that match in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Rhea Ripley against Doudrop. I don't have a time of the fall, but Rhea Ripley won that one. Then it came down to Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. And when all was said and done, the winner of that particular gauntlet match in 15 and a half minutes and a total time of 44 minutes and 4 seconds, Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, she wins the gauntlet match. She will enter the Women's Elimination Chamber match last. And MF, it's no longer a mystery as to who the final participant is. It's going to be none other than Alexa Bliss. Whoa, business has just picked up. So with that being said, MF, your thoughts on the Gauntlet match and your thought on Alexa Bliss being the mystery participant?
Yeah, no, major breaking news on that one for Alexa to be the final one in there. That's gonna be very interesting to see. Obviously, what type of look are we gonna get from the goddess more than anything else? If it is the goddess, by the way, we don't know for sure, but I like it. I like that it's Alexa. I think Alexa is worthy of the spot and worthy of the moment. So I'm actually happy with it. So I don't know what to say. So we'll just have to wait and see what's happening. And yeah. So I got nothing else to say, man. So yeah.
What about the Gauntlet match? What do you think of that?
As far as the Gauntlet match, I could say that was one of the top fights of the evening. I think it was an amazing match. There's really nothing more to add there. I mean, look, give it up for Rhea Ripley. She had a hell of a performance, and yeah, she was amazing. So, as far as that goes, I could easily say maybe about 3.25, 3.5 all the way around. Maybe even 4. I think 4 is a reach, but 3.5 definitely. Look, Rhea Ripley was the MVP of the match, made it all the way to the end. For Bianca to get it, I don't think it was a no big surprise. Bianca won it all, but I mean, this was an amazing match. And now with Alexa being in it, even though I know a lot of people are pushing for her to maybe that it, I think everybody is saying, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. It's going to be that, but I don't know, man. So I'm just gonna say I have no idea what's gonna happen. So,
All right, so I'll take it from here.
yeah.
3.5 to 4 stars for the match. Having the participants compete in a gauntlet match to see who gets to enter the Elimination Chamber last is a good idea in theory, but it still means some people have an unfair advantage by entering the gauntlet later than others. Considering WWE had to get through 5 women, it was a little surprising to see Nikki, ASH, and Rhea Ripley get so much time. It was nice to see their feud highlighted, even if the storyline has been a little uneven in terms of quality. Rhea Ripley looked great during her 44 minutes in this match. She has matured into a well-rounded competitor who can think on her feet and make her opponents look good. She and Doudrop had the best part of this whole thing. That is a pairing WWE should revisit for a title feud down the line. All in all, this was a well-booked gauntlet match that really highlighted Ripley's talents. The rating for the match is mostly for her, but everybody who competed did a good job as well. So we'll just leave it at that. Then we had 24/7 silliness here. It looked like it was a friendly, polite little date for 24/7 champion Dana Brooke and Reggie, and but it didn't last that long because Reggie rolled up Dana Brooke and became the new 24/7 champion. So Dana's 24/7 title run is over, and yeah, now
Reggie, dude, what the hell, man? What did? First off, give it up for Dana Brooke for having the longest reign as 24/7 champion. Period. But come on, bro. She was feeling you. She was feeling you. And you did that to her? Come on. And of all days, you had to do that to her.
Yep.
Oh.
You went there.
Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. My heart breaks for you. You got led astray, man. You felt like you thought it was, oh man. Nothing more to say, Florio. Nothing more to say.
Yes, and it is well documented your love affair with Dana Brooke and Meth. I mean, we know that's gone on for forever and a day, ever since that Nurses ensemble years ago. So, but anyways, really not much more to say there. So let's get into our next matchup here, as it was the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Alpha Academy. They squared off against the Mysterios, and when all was said and done for that, the winner of the match, 14 minutes and 12 seconds, it was the Alpha Academy, as Chad Gable with a roll up on Dominic Mysterio, pulling the tights and getting the win on that. So the great thing about tag team wrestling is you can almost always rely on two solid teams to tear the house down when they are given the opportunity. The Mysterios have developed into a fine-tuned lucha libre machine, but Chad Gable and Otis have been the real stars of this division recently. Whenever they get in the ring, everybody looks good as a result. The Miz's involvement was necessary for his feud with the Mysterios and did little to take away from the quality of the bout, so it all worked out in the end. I will give this 3.25 to 3.5 stars for the effort. Another one of the fights of the night for me, and it was announced that this Saturday at Elimination Chamber, Rey Mysterio and The Miz will go one-on-one. So that's definitely something we'll address Friday night when we do our Elimination Chamber preview as part of the Cerebral Smack Talk. So not much more to say there. 3.25, 3.5. MF. This would make a nice little Raw Tag Team title feud down the line if they decide to revisit it.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that. It was about 3.25, 3.5. It was a solid match. I thought everybody did a good job, and I thought it was a solid battle. And yeah, I got really nothing more to add there. So yeah, 3.25, 3.5, and that's it. So, Anthony, it's yours.
And it's main event time. Of course, this is something that we've seen before, but it hasn't been done on Raw since August the 10th of 2015, back when they were battling for the then WWE World Heavyweight Championship when Rollins was the champion on this, as it was Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton. Seth Rollins wins the match, 17 minutes and 15 seconds. Some chicanery with the Alpha Academy and Riddle, and it was just enough for Seth Rollins to hit the curb stomp on Randy Orton for the win. So, MF, your thoughts on the main event? I'm guessing fight of the night on this one.
Fight of the night honors at least about 3.5 stars for me. Hell of a main event. It was good. It was good. It was solid. It was amazing. It was everything that it needed it to be. And yeah, absolutely. You guys have said everything about it. Look, it's Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. What did you think the outcome was going to be? Every time these guys go at it, it's always a good battle. It's always a good fight. It's always a good wrestling match. It was yet again. So there's really nothing more to add. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Yeah. This was another 3.5 to 4 star match here. WWE put Orton and Rollins in the main event and gave them about almost 20 minutes to work. Of course, this was going to be good. In fact, this might have been their best encounter to date. Rollins played the perfect heel to Orton's babyface, but the crowd was cheering for both men at different times because they were doing so many cool things. Even with the shenanigans at the end, this was a fantastic performance. It's hard to pick between this bout and Rhea Ripley's performance in the women's gauntlet as the fight of the night. Maybe I could declare co-fights of the night because they were both 3.5 to 4 stars as far as I'm concerned. So, getting to the overall review, this show gave effective hype to the brand's Elimination Chamber event matches. The main event and the gauntlet match were entertaining. While there's no telling what the latest variation of the Alexa Bliss character will end up being, adding her to the women's elimination chamber match was a nice late hook. And I mean, those two matches were great. Throw in the Mysterios and the Alpha Academy. I mean, you had 3 quality matches there. Of course, the other stuff was okay at best. I mean, the disappointment of the night definitely was Damien Priest and AJ Styles. Those two easily could have had a banger of a match, but unfortunately, that did not happen. So, if that match was a quality match, then the rating for this would have been a lot higher. But for this, I'm going to give this in excess of 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Effective, solid show tonight. And we'll have to wait and see what the Raw side of things, how we do when it comes to the Elimination Chambers. So 6.5 to 7. MF, give a quick thought, and then I'll hit you all with my latest Tony's take here.
I'll actually reward you, Florio. 7 out of 10. I thought it was a very good Monday Night Raw. I think it was a solid performance. I don't think there was anything bad. I think we were expecting it to be, anything else, and it was solid. It was a good hype heading into the Elimination Chamber on Saturday. So nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, Tony's take time, and we're going to get into Impact Wrestling. As always, very heated opening segment. Josh Alexander, and he gets interrupted by Big Con. Now, Big Con happens to be the former Connor of the Ascension. We all remember that tag team, the Ascension, from NXT. I mean, they had a solid run in NXT. Unfortunately, they did hardly anything in WWE terms, but yeah, that guy is gone. So, and they get into they actually had a brief match. It led into a match, and Josh Alexander won it in 36 seconds. And I'm glad he got the quick win over the big man. If Big Con's expected to be around much longer, then this may have been a bit much. He's a big dude and had nothing for Alexander. And then after the match, Josh loses his damn mind, and he actually shoves Scott D'Amore to the ground. And they had a back and forth, and Josh was just such a hothead that Scott D'Amore says, I'm sending you home. So it was basically a suspension. So he sent him home, and he's now out of that big multi-man match at the No Surrender event this weekend, which is also on Saturday. I mean, we got a humongous Saturday in store for all of you folks, let me tell you. With the Elimination Chamber event, NBA All-Star Saturday night, and then throw that Impact Plus special on top of it. Wow, that's a super Saturday and then some, let me tell you. But that was an interesting opening segment. First match of the night, Deonna Purrazzo issuing an open challenge for her for either the Ring of Honor Women's World Title or the Reina de Reinas Championship. And her opponent was someone that our dear friend Matt Ward is a huge fan of, and that ended up being Santana Garrett. And Santana Garrett says, I want the Ring of Honor Women's World Title. So the two of them battle for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. And, of course, Deonna Purrazzo picks up the win. 9 minutes and 39 seconds, retains the title. 2.5 stars. Really solid match going. They had a really solid match going there that started to get the crowd interested. They looked to be going to the finish, but I'm pretty sure Santana had either kicked out or Deonna was the one technically being pinned. And Deonna was trying to roll through into a new pin, but the ref just kept counting and called it. It wasn't massive, but still an unfortunate finish to a really good match. Staying with the knockouts action, Chelsea Green against the Impact Knockouts champion, Mickie James. Unfortunately, the fight gets thrown out in 4 minutes. It was a 2-star match. It was going pretty well until the finish. And while I don't love finishes like the one we got, it was well done. I can see where they're going with it, and I enjoyed it. Excuse me. Oh, all right. Yeah, Tasha Steelz interfered. Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans interfered. So that's what happened there. So that was a 2-star match. A lot of backstage stuff, and then the Bullet Club cuts a promo. Jay White and Chris Bay and the Gorillas of Destiny, and they were interrupted by Violent by Design and the Good Brothers. Crazy segment there. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of Honor No More went up against Rhino and Rich Swann. And Honor No More in 9 minutes and 10 seconds. It was a 2.25 star match. It wasn't bad, but really nothing too special, especially given the time they got. But it felt like an extended squash with Swann and Rhino not getting much. And then at the end, and then we had Brian Myers versus W. Morrissey in a no disqualification match. W. Morrissey wins in 14 minutes, 5 seconds, 2.5. Decent back and forth, but Morrissey shouldn't be splitting time like this with Myers. He should have been killing him the entire time. Instead, we have Tom Hannafin implying Myers really could have won multiple times in this match. I just think the world champion contender should look stronger a week and a half before the title bout. Even if it took weapons, Myers still shouldn't have gotten that much. Otherwise, it was a good match, and finish made up for my gripes, I guess. 6.5 out of 10. Had some good stuff. Like the storyline development and the two women's matches were all right. That said, there was so much more time dedicated to speaking and segments than the matches. And the matches we got were relatively unimpressive. That leaves this being one of my least favorite shows because the matches couldn't make up for the lengthy segments. I really don't like the direction of the Josh Alexander storyline, and that's likely the point. But it's still just not fun at all. Watching Scott D'Amore act how he does with Josh, but let's so much else slide. I enjoy the Honor No More stuff, but I wish they had time to square up with the Bullet Club, especially if Jay White won't be around anymore. Not a bad episode, but really not great, if I'm going to be honest with you. So we'll just leave it at that. 6.5 out of 10 for that. Coming up this Thursday night on Impact Wrestling on Access TV, and as well as the Insiders membership on YouTube here. The Bullet Club, Jay White and the Gorillas of Destiny will square off against Eric Young, Joe Doring, and Diener of Violent by Design. Mickie James and Chelsea Green will team up against Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. Honor No More's Kenny King will go one-on-one with Chris Sabin. And Lady Frost will square off against the debuting Giselle Shaw. So that will all go down on Thursday night. So give that a whirl. And now one last order of business as always, and that is 205 Live. Ike Manjiro against Trick Williams, and Trick Williams wins in 5 minutes and 9 seconds. It was a basic match for Williams as it was a bit slow with the rest holds. It gives Williams a win over a bigger name for this show, but it was only a 1-star match. Lash Legend against Erica Yan. Lash Legend wins the match 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Winner was never in doubt. Match was fine for what it was as Yan fought from underneath and they got caught and was forced to tap. 1-star effort on that. Joe Gacy against Zion Quinn. Joe Gacy in 5 minutes and 59 seconds. A dull match that even the crowd checked out on at times. It sure seemed to be a lot longer than 6 minutes. I know they're high on Gacy and he plays the character well, but I haven't been impressed with what I have seen. So 1.5 stars. Blast show this week with a dull main event, 4 out of 10. I'm not impressed. So with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you Wednesday night over on the MF's channel, Brace Bay 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem, as we will have NXT 2.0 Vengeance Day. Can't wait to get into that. And we'll also have AEW Dynamite as well. Thursday night, the return of our regulation Strictly Sports shows, as we will recap the NHL All-Star festivities. We'll also address the NBA trades. Some NBA trades went down. We'll also get into the NFL coaching carousel, some more developments in that regard. And then we will preview the NBA All-Star Weekend festivities coming up. And in our main event, it'll be all about NFL honors and, of course, Super Bowl 56 that went down last night. So that'll be on Thursday. And then Friday, MF will have the Cerebral Smack Talk as we will review Friday Night SmackDown, AEW. Well, actually, it'll be AEW Rampage, then Friday Night SmackDown. Because remember, AEW Rampage is going to be starting at 7 p.m. on Friday night. So MF, I would imagine we'll get into AEW Rampage first, and then SmackDown for this week only because of the time difference. And then we'll preview, of course, the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view at the end. And now, MF, I have a question. As you know, Saturday, the Elimination Chamber event starts at high noon here on our end. So I'm just wondering when are we going to have our Elimination Chamber recap show? I'm sure we're going to be doing one. I just don't know what the we're just going to have to wait and see the time to be determined on that. So we're just going to leave it at that. So we'll put our heads together on that, and we'll get back to you folks about that. So I'm sure this weekend there will be a chamber recap show. So we just got to figure out what time and day. So, and then next Monday night, of course, we'll be right back here for Ridiculously Raw, the Raw fallout from the Elimination Chamber, as we officially start the road to WrestleMania, because this is the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. So that's it. So until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Mayhem over on the Match channel, Raceway 95. This is Anthony Florio here for Gorilla MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and the First Lady and Twisted Angel of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days, and until Wednesday night, rather. For Wednesday Night Mayhem, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio. So long. Bye, everybody. Bye.